Joe.
So yeah, no, I just waiting for you guys to say something. Like I said, I'm in the middle of reading something here.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Yeah,
Happy
and
early Mother's Day, Elaine.
Oh, thank you. I have a gift for the girls.
I'm
Yet
sorry.
again. Um,
Oh, okay.
this it turns out there are this is a set of books that
Hmm.
have been turned into comics and graphic novels, and they gave out a preview copy of this. It's all ages, though Penguin says 8 to 12,
Okay.
for Free Comic Books Day. And did you know Free Comic Books Day is no longer Free Comic Book Day? It is
Only if
Comics
you're
Giveaway Day.
only if
yes,
you go through Penguin Random House. If you still go through anyone else, it's still Free Comic Book Day because my DC books say Free Comic Book Day on them, and the ones that aren't there from Penguin say Comics Giveaway Day.
Yeah, well, no, because this is from Dark Horse, and it
Yeah,
says Dark
Dark Horse
Horse
goes through Penguin Random House, Dynamite
and
or Boom
Marvel
does. Yeah, and
and
Marvel
Marvel.
does.
Okay,
mhm.
But anybody that goes through Lunar is still calling it Free Comic Book Day because
okay.
I know my DC Free Comic Book Day book says that.
It says
Um,
Free Comic Book Day on the DC All In
mhm. Yeah.
2025 special. Because I got 5 books
Um,
for Free Comic Book Day, but the other 4 I have the 2 Marvels, the Dark Horse, and the Penguin. I'll say Comics Giveaway Day.
mhm.
So I don't know if they're, I don't know if, DC is stubbornly holding on to FBCD, or
If I
if,
remember right, it had something to do with Marvel and Penguin Random House. We're going to do a separate Free Comic Book Day, and they were going to call it Comics Giveaway Day,
I
and it
don't,
fell through
well,
because I remember seeing.
my original understanding is Free Comic Book Day was started by Diamond Distributing,
Mm-hmm,
a way of promoting
mm-hmm,
comics. Diamond, of course, as we all know, no longer, they're no longer with us. And so I don't know if maybe Free Comic Book Day, that name belonged to Diamond and it's not allowed to be used, or I don't know. But I was going through my books and going, wait, this one says this and the rest of these say that. And, you know,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
so I thought I'd just comment on it.
it's something to do with now with the fact that not that since Diamond isn't a thing anymore, they're basically fighting over the name, the distributors.
So
Um,
who
Well, we
has
don't
the
we don't
right to
know
use?
we don't know which one of Diamond's creditors is going to end up with the name. That's pretty
right,
much
but
what
for
it
right,
comes down to.
but for this year, anything that came through Lunar Distributions, like the DC books, some of the Image titles, I can't remember off the top of my head. Uh, they are free comic book day books because Lunar's using it this year.
Mm.
They don't know if they'll have it next year or not.
Well, like I said, I got 5 because our local comic book shop, you could only get 5 books.
Mm,
So I got 5. And one of the things I got, and I'm going to give a mini review, um, is this little thing here called Last Kids on Earth. And this is an adaptation of a series of books that was written by Max Brallier or Brallier. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Um, and the lovely folks at Penguin, and it's in all ages, though Penguin, if you look on the back of it, Penguin suggests 8 to 12. But I actually read it and thought, this would be interesting. The only thing is, um, this little preview is for the second graphic novel. There is an original graphic novel, and called The Last Kids, just titled The Last Kids on Earth. And then this one is The Last Kids on Earth and the Zombie Parade. Um, and it only gives you a little taste of the opening. It's 3 kids and an adult who I guess is doing his best to take care of them, and 2 boys and a girl. They are Jack. Hold on, I wrote it down
Okay.
because I wouldn't forget. It's Jack Sullivan, June Dirk, Quint is and Dirk is the adult. Quint is Jack is kind of he's the narrator, main character of our story. He also he has to be around somewhere between 11, 10, and 12. Because he's looking it's the zombie apocalypse, and while he's adapting to survival, he also still has part of that child's fantasy thing going on in his brain. He wants to be the hero. And so that can sometimes prove problematic. If not for him, then, those he hangs with. His friend, Quint, is an inventor. He's kind of their tech bro. Dirk is muscle, and he's also the closest thing they have to an adult. And then June, the girl, is a fighter. They are a multiracial group, and I have not read the first book. Like I said, I picked up this thinking, oh, this sounds like interesting, and I can, if nothing else, I can do a more complete review of it for the next time the funverse. We do the fundraiser for the multiverse. I am, and luckily, if you're interested, you can find all of the books as well as the graphic novels on Amazon, and you can, if you want, you can go to your local comic book shops and ask if you don't see them, you can. Because they are two graphic novels. You should be able to go to either Barnes and Nobles or your local comic book shop or some other bookseller and see if they can order it for you if you're interested. Um, the little bit in here I read, I thought it was really interesting and fun. Um, the artwork isn't bad. It's actually pretty decent artwork. It's a kind of colorful book. I love the fact that they have this big dog. Um, he's 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 bigger than most horses, and several people can ride on this dog at once. Uh, and he's fun and he looks cuddly. I wouldn't, you know. And my understanding is they are more. Hey, Tom, good to see you. They are living in a treehouse or somewhere they call it the treehouse. Like I said, I didn't realize until I got this, until I sat down with this, that I realized that this is actually this is actually a lead into the second graphic novel. I am going to get the first graphic novel, and if I like it, Cliff, I will be sending it your way because I think Grayson might like it.
Oh, I thought I was in trouble. Okay, thank you.
But I thought, and I will probably get both of these, and then for the coming years of multiverse fundraiser, I will do the first book, and then I will do the second book after that. Um, because it's like, well, you know what? This will kill two birds with one stone, and being more family friendly, because there are parents, I'm sure, who watch this show wondering if we ever talk about anything their kids can pay attention to. Um, this is something for parents who have kids who are getting into comics, and or younger kids, because they see the older kids reading and they're like, well, how come I want to read comics, I want to read something other than, Baby Huey. This will be a good thing, especially it's scary without being, it's kind of R.L. Steinish. And the fact that, yes, it's a zombie apocalypse. Yes, it's scary. Um, but the kids seem capable. And I guess the first book will show how they have that capability. The kids seem capable. Um, you can look and say, oh, okay, well, they've got their flaws, but it doesn't seem anything that hopefully will get anybody killed. But it looks like it's something that promotes things like friendship and working together, getting along and whatnot. So, and I think that's something we really need. And I'm just slapping into things all over today. But if you're looking for something that your kids can look at where people actually get along and not, try to stab each other in the back every other 5 seconds, this might be a good book to look into. You know. Oh, okay, Tom, you got this stream in your feed. Welcome. Hope you enjoy the show. We probably do have some other folks showing up soon because, so if you have a question or a comment on anything, just get up on that keyboard and let us know. And we'll,
right, Elaine, just a quick follow up. It was Universal Distribution bought the brand Free Comic Book Day, and Penguin Random House that publishes Marvel and Dark Horse had a falling out with them,
so they can't use it.
They're doing a comics giveaway day.
Oh, this will be really cute. This, for those of us who are in, get in the know and have been in this game for some while, that's not a problem. But for people that are just coming into it and whatnot, just if you show up on May the 2nd, that's on a Saturday or something, first Saturday in May, that's Free Comic Book Day. And just go in. And usually most local comic book stores all do something nice. Our local comic book store is lovely. They have local authors and artists who are there. It's a whole thing. So, my family, it's part of our yearly fun ritual. We get like, we don't get dolled up, but we get presentable.
Tom, I do read manga. I'm woefully behind right now, like I am with everything. But I have read. The last manga I finished I just finished Jujutsu Kaisen, and for some reason I wanted to punish myself, and I reread Attack on Titan.
Okay.
But yeah, I do read manga, but I'm not as fluent on it as I am comics.
I'm old. I'm old enough to have babysat the Crypt Keeper. Though I do like manga. My oldest gifted me last year for my birthday some My Hero a collection of My Hero Academia, because I liked the anime. And I will usually, I tend to get into the anime first, and then if I'm really into the anime, I will get into the manga. Or at least just collect it to have it, to say, oof, I got the manga. So I have My Hero Academia. Of course, I need to get, there are other titles I do need to collect. I found out we just had a new Barnes & Noble open up in Hyde Park. Joe, you love it. We have to go there and sit and have coffee and then stand in the manga section and gatekeep and be evil. And yes, Joe, you will do it because I said so.
Yeah, and I have read Death Note, except in my household, the anime and the manga both end when L dies, and that's it. Light wins. That's the end of the story. We ignore everything that happened after that.
Why?
Because if you watch that show, L is brought up to be.
I seen all of it. I seen all of Death Note.
Yeah. If you watch or read Death Note, L is supposed to be the super duper detective god guru guy. So he's the end boss. And when he dies, and Light wins because, I'm sorry, but Light was the hero in that manga. Then all of a sudden, hey, we have 2 other numbskulls no one ever heard of that were also L's proteges. Like, no, we're done. That's the end of this.
See, that's where I kind of like, that's you kind of rewriting continuity, because technically it was two other people that went up under L,
Yeah, I'll put
and,
your names up
what
here.
I did like about and this and not to not Tom, that's one of the things that I don't like about manga, at least in storytelling wise. They did not go deep into the history of the letter L, because there was other L's before the main character, and they alluded that even if he was wrong, and he even stated if he was wrong, it wouldn't have been the end. It would not be the end of the investigation. He would have known that he got bested.
Mm.
So Light won because technically he was up here thinking that Light should be trained to be the next L. If you remember that.
Mm. Yes. Yes, and just I just
It was a lot of it was a lot of reverse Holmes and Moriarty.
yes, I agree with this, but again, because I'm old, everything about the anime and the manga always pitted Light against L. You always would see those two, this, that, and the other. So that was the WrestleMania main event, and it ended. I'm not watching Monday Night Raw the next day to see who the next challenger is. That was it. That was
But
ended.
that's the thing. The thing to me about Death Note and what I really hated about it is that was Light really the evil villain? Was he truly the big bad, or was L truly the big bad? Because of Old Girl, because what he did for Old Girl at the very end to get rid of her Death Note and to get her separated from her Shimigami was immaculate. How he did that whole separation was messed up for her to survive the whole scenario. Because Light could have used her to hold, to be the person to hold the bag at the very end, and they would have got her, and he could have kept on going.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but they did a remake of Death Note but it was the same story, but it was from Light's Shimigami's perspective, Ryuk.
Yeah, I think it was a
I
reunion.
haven't I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds really interesting. I want to watch it one day. But I do know avoid the Netflix live action one because that was a mess. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Well, I'm not certain if the Netflix one was the one that they actually did overseas, because there was one that they did live action overseas that kind of mimicked the manga, like
Well, I've seen that
scene for
one.
scene.
I've seen that one. It was pretty good. The Netflix one is one where they brought it to America, and Light lived in Seattle or something.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. That's
So,
that's just kind of like how I like what Netflix did with Lupin. I'm a big Lupin the Third fan.
Because you're
But
old.
Netflix did a series, a one-off series called Lupin, and it's about a guy by the name of Son Diop, who she's like, are you threatening people again?
no, I'm just suggesting that Grayson likes me, and you keep this up about me being old, and I will take you off my protected status. And
Let's talk about
then,
Joe being old this time.
oh, okay. That's why I said, don't make me reach out to the girls.
I want to be like, it's like what? It's like, what did I do? I want to be like, you up there like, I'm like, what did I do? I'm the one talking. It's like I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing untoward.
I was aiming it at Cliff. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's actually funny. You summoned them. Grayson and Big Sister were out shopping, and you said Grayson, and they just opened the door. Good job. What else did you get for Free Comic Book Day or Free Comics Giveaway?
I can't finish my thoughts. He don't want me to finish my thought here.
Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No, about Lupin, because again, to me, the way I look at Death Note is kind of like the same way that I look at Lupin when it comes to Netflix. Netflix did a good series called Lupin using the persona of Asan Diop and using the original lore about Ascanier Lupin, the gentleman thief. But it's still not old school Japanese manga Lupin the Third.
And that's the one my oldest and I are into, Lupin the Third. To answer your question, I got the DC All In book.
Okay,
Hmm.
hold on. There you go.
I got the DC All In book, which I haven't read yet. Dark Horse did an Avatar Legend, and
Hmm.
Avatar is it's we all love Avatar in this household. Yes, Courtney, you love Avatar whether you know it or not. So we love, the boys and I are big Avatar fans. And yes, that includes Legend of Korra. And no, I don't care what you think. Um, and so when I saw it, it's like, well, I want to see what they're doing with this. Just, because when it's with IP that I'm invested in, I want to see where it's gone. There were two Marvels that I got. One is Avengers Armageddon, which I'm kind of interested to see where they're going with that. And The Amazing Spider Man Queen in Black. And I haven't read any of these four yet. It's been a week. I got a new phone, and my new squishy stuff that was on my old squishy that worked didn't want to work easily on my new squishy. My computer does not like my new phone, and therefore acts like my new phone does not exist. Um, so we're having issues. I got to get a phone counselor or something for my tech because it wasn't happy. Um,
Well,
but I knew I needed to go through something. Yes, okay, you got it. Ooh, we can talk about it.
and I'm just going to say, I'm very glad for the stuff I got that we have the TV MA on here tonight.
Mhm.
And that's all I'm going to say right
Oh, you don't want me to get started because I did some homework. Well, let me come back to this screen. Those who watch the Saturday show know exactly what series I'm going back to review it to finish it up.
now. Oh, okay.
Um, Tom, I have not read the Invincible comics. I just haven't felt, led towards that show. I know there are a lot of people who love the comics and they love the show. Not necessarily a fan, but that's just me, you know.
Uh, I have started Invincible, the show and the comic a few times, and it hasn't really grabbed my attention enough where I just sit down and go through the whole thing. I know it's supposed to be a really good comic series. Not the biggest Robert Kirkman fan, but I eventually will get to it. But seriously, I think I went through made it through the first one or two issues, and then I don't know, a butterfly flew by and caught my attention. I put it down. Because it didn't really grab me. Um, I'll be honest, I enjoyed playing Omni Man on Mortal Kombat more than I enjoyed reading the comic, but that doesn't mean the comic's bad. I just haven't. It didn't. It did not grab me enough to want to read it because Tom, I'm glad you're here, but I have like 12 long boxes full of books I'm behind on. So that's something like what, almost 1,500 comics. So if it doesn't grab my attention, it goes to the bottom of the bin.
And
So
I have to tell you, I am the resident old fart. Like I said, I am old enough to be. I babysat the crypt keeper and walked him to school. I'm that old, and no, I don't look that old because when I moved into this neighborhood almost 10 years ago, we had a preponderance of young teenage guys who look like young teenage guys. Now we have a preponderance of old men. Do the math, baby. Figure it out. Anyway, I
I'm just
and
happy that I don't have to answer questions.
and I tend to go to. I'm more pop culture. A lot of I get in the Wayback Machine. I cover a lot of TV shows, movies, streamers, and stuff like that. And I'm more old school comics. So, I have a collection of things like my Aliens versus Predator, my Mage books. Like I said, my son got me My Hero Academia. I have a couple of classic Marvel things. I'm also really into anime, but it's specific anime. Vampire Hunter D, Helsing Ultimate. um, as well as some others. I do love Harold. Up to a minute, but my son and I quit watching because I think certain persons are butts, and I can't change my mind over that. Um, so I'm Dragon Ball, and I'm a Team 4 Star fan, so Dragon
Oh,
Ball.
the of unabridged series.
Yes, unabridged Helsing. When I need to lift my spirits, Helsing Ultimate unabridged. Nothing makes me laugh harder than a a wonky vampire with an axe to grind and other things. Um, and I'm the reason why the TVMADLSB is on here because I can get a little intense, you know.
Mhm.
Mm.
Um, I read Absolute Batman sporadically. Again, I'm way behind on my comics. So anything that came out in the last year, except for stuff tied into a couple of the events, I haven't really got read a lot of. But I'm a fan of Scott Snyder, so I know he's doing a great job on that. And rumblings are he's going to bring back um, Signal Man and Mothman, or no, I mean Killer Moth, as more horror centric villains in the Absolute Universe.
Oh, okay.
Which, because I'm a big fan of Batman's D through Z tier rogues galleries. I love me some Signal Man.
Okay. And
Love
just
me
so
some
you
Signal Man.
know, I'm a creator. I am working on my first graphic novel miniseries, Werewolves. I'm definitely down with the werewolves. I also work as an editor. I edit for Mr. McPhee over here. He has a couple of series of his own. He's hiding.
No, I'm not hiding.
I was supposed to say, I
I
know where you
haven't,
live.
I
Don't make
haven't,
me
I
walk over
haven't
there.
even attempted to answer his questions, but I have reason not to.
I'm
It
trying
was a
to.
mysterious
I
member
am
of the
trying to
team.
interact and
Mm.
be nice because I have days when I'm me, Cliff.
Mhm.
I have days when I'm
Mhm.
very strange and
Mhm.
scary. Haven't fanged down on anybody in a while. Courtney runs too fast, so trying to attack her here in the house gets to be harder. And John and Charles fight
That's
back. Oh
because it's
my
a
goodness,
vacuum.
the mouse is in the living room.
That's because
Sorry.
you're in a vacuum chamber. That's the reason why there's no friction. She don't have to worry about wind. She's just that fragile.
Oh, ha ha ha!
Now,
I got. Don't make me come to your house.
Miss Elaine, you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned werewolves, and
Lycans are us. Are.
it reminded me. I tortured Grayson the other day because I found a trailer for a new movie coming out from Full Moon Features, the people who brought us Puppet Master and Demonic Toys and all of that. It's called Models versus Werewolves.
Is that the
And
one with D Wallace is in?
I don't think so. This one hasn't come out yet, but it's a bunch of OnlyFan models who went into the woods to record stuff, and it's full of werewolves.
Oh, I've been catching some really crappy werewolf movies late. There's something D Wallace Stone, and if you don't, well, D Wallace now she was D Wallace Stone was the protagonist for the first Howling movie, and
Hmm.
her husband at the time was in that movie with her, which is why she had the Wallace Stone. Now she's back to basically D Wallace. Um, but I still can't find that Australian movie I was talking about where the chick tripped over and ended up shooting herself in the head with a shotgun. Yeah. And I've got to find that just so you and I can sit and watch that scene and just replay it a few times. It's hilarious, but
That will
I'm
crack you up all day long. I
oh, it
know.
does. It gives me a good giggle.
Oh,
I'm the werewolf person.
I'm
You
sorry.
like werewolves? I's the person.
D. Wallace is in Models versus Werewolves. I didn't realize that.
Okay,
So,
I thought so because on Facebook I follow Rue Morgue
mhm.
on Facebook, and they will talk about what's coming up. in the horror world. And they listed it, and somebody got up and said, she's a good actress. It's so sad that she'll just do anything these days. And it's like, oh, you were just so evil. And good thing I don't know where you live. Thank you, Tom. Hold on. I'm going to highlight this so people can see it because he was
Mhm.
very nice. Yes, book one of the graphic novel is done. And hold on, because I don't. You're in trouble when you don't have a copy of your own damn book that you can pull out in half a second. No, it's my book.
She doesn't have that type of setup yet.
No, because I'm in one section of my studio. Here we go. It's my werewolf book, book one, and the coming of nighttime, book one. Nothing like the sun. It's vampire. It's not vampires. It's werewolves. And our protagonist is a very brilliant geneticist, and she and her werewood human hybrid daughter end up going over to the ass end of space and tackling both humans and werewolves. Because they're trying to get away from her husband, who may or may not be a psychopathic killer. And I'm telling you because then I would give the book away. And it looks like I'm going to have to sell these from home because Ingram Spark is still being a butt. But I also want to announce for those of you who are local, I will be talking to James Nurse next week. And we are setting up a signing date at First Aid at the Hyde Park location. So there will actually be a signing. These are the Kablam editions. I still have quite a few of these, so we'll be selling them at the signing. I will give the date when we have it. And then what I will do is because Ingram Spark is a butthead and a half, and I'm just really tired of their bullshit, I will go to Comics Wellspring and let them print as I need to. And until we start making enough sales that someone says, hey there, why don't you let us do this for you? That's how you'll either have to catch me at something like C2E2 or a local signing, or, you'll be able to order it from my site once we've got that all set up. So that's updating what's going on in Elaine's hellscape.
Just for the record, Tom, I would go see Shirtless Hot Guy the movie. I'm just saying.
And you see why I don't answer questions so far in the show.
Shirtless hot guy.
That sounds right up my alley.
Exactly.
I think I told you guys I made Grayson watch the Bambi horror movie with me, right?
Oh, you did not.
Twilight series. He said Twilight series.
Oh, Twilight. Fuck Twilight.
He got so embarrassed by me because if you haven't seen it, I hope I'm not spoiling anything for the 10 of you who might actually want to watch Bambi the Reckoning.
No.
But there is a scene where the douchey teenage guy that you're hoping gets killed is lost in the woods running from Bambi. And this little bitty rabbit pops up to him and looks at him like, not yet, but looks at him like, oh, buddy, what's wrong? And the little douchey teenager guy hunts him like a football, and he flies off screen. And I rewound that like 8 times because it was so funny. And then what you find out was that wasn't Thumper. That was Thumper's lady, the white rabbit from the cartoon movie.
Oh,
because here comes
he's in trouble now.
He's in trouble now.
Don't kick Thumper's lady.
Thumper shows up with all the other rabbits in his posse, and they all have the big vampire. They all have big fangs and demon teeth. And they chase him down, and the kid falls backwards headfirst into a bear trap, and they all jump on him and start eating him. I watched this so many times. I made my wife watch it. It was so funny.
Now, sorry, understand, this is the same man who got mad at me because I suggested he sit down with his girls and watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
I still haven't watched it yet. I am still pure.
Oh, do not make me come to your house and hurt you.
Yeah, Tom, Bambi the Reckoning was made by the same people who made the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey movies. They're creating their own um, shared cinematic universe of children's characters that have turned evil, and it's all going to be in their own version of an Avengers movie called the Poohniverse, and it's going to be Winnie the Pooh and all of his gang,
Oh
Bambi,
no.
Peter Pan, Snow White, Popeye, and I think Betty Boop are
Now
all going on a killing rampage
I can
because
see
they all went into the public domain in the last 2 years. So
I can see Peter Pan and his kids because there's a darkness to the Pan
Mhm.
stories that usually don't make the movies.
oh, but seeing the Peter Pan movie, he's not Peter Pan like that. He's some strung out meth head who likes kids in the
Oh,
movie,
I don't think I
and
watched that.
so it's and he shoots him up with heroin to tell him they're going to Neverland before he kills them. So it's,
Okay. I think I'll avoid that. I
oh,
think I'll
it
avoid
was
Yeah,
that.
terrible. See,
avoid it like I've been avoiding K-pop Demon Hunter.
I love these
That's a
movies.
whole nother smoked altogether, Joe, and you know that.
Yeah, Tom, if it's a terrible movie, I have seen it or I'm going to see it because I never sleep anymore, and all I do is stay up and watch bad horror movies. So
I used to stay up at night. My kids are adults now, so I'm not. I sleep a lot deeper than I used to. But yeah, I've got a whole history of late night horror films behind me. Probably some that you've never heard of, like Fiend Without a Face, and to this day, because of that movie, and I watched it. I had to be about 10 or 11 when I watched it on Svengoolie. Um, if I hear a heartbeat for the first minute or so, I kind of go, whoa, because of that movie. Did you ever see Thing Without a Face, Cliff?
I want to say I might have seen it 100 years ago, but it doesn't stick with me that I remember it. So that
Ah,
means
okay.
either a I was too young to really focus on it, or B, it was actually a good movie, so my brain shut off and quit watching it.
Tom, if you've got Prime Video, they have a lot of craptastic horror films on Prime Video. Also, if you have Fandango at home, they in their free section will have a lot of craptastic horror films. Hulu every once in a while gets a really good craptastic horror film as well.
And
Um,
if you have access to Tubi, Tubi, it's a free streaming service. That's all it is 80s cartoons and terrible horror movies.
ooh, I gotta
Um,
start watching Tubi
oh,
then.
and Joe, you were talking about Lupin the Third.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pluto TV, which is another free streaming service, they have one entire channel that's dedicated to Lupin. They just play Lupin everything 24/7.
Oh, I gotta tell my oldest.
Yeah, that would be fun to watch all of the TV series because I think there are like 8 TV series, and there's one particular movie that I want to watch, and that is Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan. I
That
still have
one,
not
And
watched that.
actually,
I
I
haven't
do know
seen
that's
that
on
one yet.
there. I know that it was on there because when I was going through Pluto one night when they got, I like go to Pluto to watch anime, and they used to have a really good channel that showed nothing but old kickboxing matches on it. So I go watch it, but they lost the rights to it, so I've been watching more of the anime on there. And I saw
Oh, well,
Lupin. I know that they have that movie, or they did.
yeah. I'm a
Joe, did
Gundam
you?
fan, among other things. I love me some Iron Blooded Orphans is
Mm,
very. I really love me some Iron Blooded Orphans. I still cry for Biscuit.
my favorite Gundam series is still Mobile Fighter Gundam, where they were the planet Earth had become a fighting ground for each country's representative Gundam,
Master
and it was
Asia.
every stereotype you could ever imagine because
Charles and I
the
watched that together years ago,
the
and we are just
the
cracking up.
Gundam from Canada looked like he was made out of wood and was a lumberjack,
Yep.
and the one from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken, was called the Tequila Gundam and looked like a giant cactus.
Yes,
That
it
is
was.
that is peak. That
I
is
kept
peak
I
thinking,
90s
still
anime.
think about Master Asia because of the simple fact that it's like, oh yeah, you guys need a mech. I could fight you without one, but to make it fair, I'll go inside of a mech. I will go inside. It's like, what?
Yes.
there
And
have been there have been some really craptastic anime popping up in my Prime Video feed.
they
So
the main character in Mobile Fighter Gundam had the unfortunately named Burning Hand is his finishing move.
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh. Did you get anything else for Free Comic Book Day, Lane?
Um, we went and what did we do? Oh, Courtney had the new Barnes and Nobles at in Hyde Park on off 55th Street in the mall. There is really nice. Joe, they've got a really good they've got a really good Starbucks section in there with lovely tables and chairs and stuff. Um, we went she had Charles and I had been there, but she hadn't been there. My youngest hadn't been there. And I kind of regret having taken my youngest because they have a Lego section.
Oh, yep, he's going
And
to
they
live
have
there.
they've got a Lego baby Grogu. They've got they got a Lego Eevee. It's like, what? Y'all only got the big ass expensive
Yes, because it's Barnes and Noble.
as Barnes and Nobles, but they had a manga section and they had the Full Metal Alchemist books, and I'm like, okay. And I'm in the manga section and I'm going, I'm probably only 60 something year old person in the manga section going, okay, I got to get those. I need to get those. I might want to read those. So, so we went there. Charles went to Trader Joe's and got dim sum because if dim sum were liquid, he would shoot it up because he loves it. He's into dim sum the way I'm into bao. I love me some bao. Hold on. Our Tom spoke. Yes, Tom, I am putting you on screen because I'm evil that way. And I'm bringing you into the conversation. Tom is our new host, our new co-host. Yay!
From Tom?
This is not a paid position, Tom, just so you know. We do it because we just have the love of the stuff in our veins.
Now, Elaine, you told me before, because I've never watched it, the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? Is
Yes,
that what
there are
it's called?
two.
Mhm.
There's
If I
two
watch,
Full Metal Alchemist anime. One is simply Full Metal Alchemist, and the other one is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. This
Brotherhood
big,
follows the manga.
yeah,
yeah,
Brotherhood
so
follows the manga. Full Metal Alchemist, the original, goes because it like the reason there are two Helsings
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
is because the um the anime producers love the manga, but they got ahead of the manga creators and started having to fill in storybooks in order to be able to put stuff out there, and they ended up going in a different direction
Mhm.
than the
Yes.
creators.
So
And
I don't
so
have to have any prior knowledge of the first series to
no,
watch.
the
No,
first
no,
one
not at
gives you a
all.
little more.
Okay.
It gives you it kind of changes timelines, and it gives you a little more backstory on Maze Hughes and a few other characters. It expands those backstories, but I would say stick with Brotherhood because that's closer to the manga. It goes
Mhm.
off a little bit, but it is closer to the manga. And they don't ship Ed and Hohenheim over to into an alternate universe where they end up in Nazi Germany during
Oh,
World War
okay.
II. I
Right.
would say stick with Brotherhood. I love me some AFMAB. In fact, I'm probably in the next few weeks gonna go into my. I watch it at least once every other year. I kind of switch
Mhm.
off between it and I either do it or I do Helsing, either the Helsing Ultimate or Helsing Ultimate Abridged. But
'Cause I mean,
I still have my crush on Armstrong's sister.
I
That is
need
one badass general. That is one badass general.
I need
You
something to
gotta look at
watch. I need a series to watch while I'm waiting for Kaiju #8 and Solo Leveling to bring out their new seasons.
You
So
will love. I love Full Metal Alchemist
mm,
Brotherhood. And it's made back in the day where the friends
mm,
were friends. And as someone, I actually sometimes I watch some of the reaction people, and this one guy did an explanation of it that I really I got, but I hadn't heard younger people describe it. One of the things about Full Metal Alchemist is characters that you fall in love with who become heroes in that story. You find out in their past, they were kind of villains. They weren't villains in the let me go out here and do some evil, but they were villains in the fact that they were complicit to
mm,
some really evil shit. And part of the story is it's not just what Ed and Al are going through and their own arc and Hohenheim's redemption arc, but it's also you have characters like Mustang, like Alex, like Hawkeye and whatnot, who served in the Ishvalan War of Extermination. They were fighting for a mistress,
Mhm.
and they were not doing great things. Maze Hughes is a character. I don't know anybody who's watched that series and not loved Maze Hughes.
mm.
And I will not discuss beyond the fact that he's a much loved character. But you realize he was part of that. And so the story, as we come into it, when you learn about their past, you also see how the choices they made, if for no other reason of following orders, they're now looking at it and realizing the damage that they did. And they're now working to move beyond it and to make amends. So
Wait,
you actually
which
get to
series
see
are you
these.
talking about? Which
We're
which series?
talking we're talking Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. That is the
You have
universal theme across the whole board.
it is it and you see these characters have these great arcs because people who did some really horrible, there are people who did horrible things who happily did those horrible things, but then you see people who did horrible things who in this series, especially as they come into contact with Ed now, are working and wanting to fix those mistakes. So it isn't like they're just sitting there going, I did this horrible thing, my life is screwed. No, they're going, I did this horrible thing. It makes me a horrible person, but I'm going to get the hell up and do better. And I love that because that's the storytelling we don't do as much anymore. You know, we turn our villains into heroes in the point of they're still villains, but you just make them so interesting. People fall in love with them, and it's like, no,
There's
give
no
me a
redemption
Roy,
arc for them. There's no
give,
redemption arc for them. That's what the problem is for that.
give
But
me a Roy Mustang any day. Give me an Alex
give me give me give,
Armstrong.
give, give me a Hughes Roy Mustang relationship all day, every day. Because people who haven't watched Brotherhood, those are two central characters that had a very unique relationship.
Oh, Hawkeye and Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you will love this show, and you have my number, right? So
Yes.
when you're watching it, call me. Well, I'll pull it up on my
that that
desktop or
that that
something. We'll
that
watch it
relationship
together. And
is very unique, and you have to pay attention to the subtleties of how they said certain things here, because it's certain ways that Hughes would say something and that another character would be like, wait a second, this have more meaning than what it is, and you won't know it until like several scenes later.
Mm,
that's one of the great things about Hughes because they
Uh-huh.
kind of the way they present Hughes, and then there are subtleties that let you know, oh, he's presenting himself this way because people drop their guard. And considering what his job is, he needs that because that's how he's going to find the truth of what's
but
going on.
but that
And we can't, and he hasn't seen it, and I don't know an audience who hasn't seen it. So
yeah.
we're not going to go
I,
beyond that. But
I
there are
wanted to
some
drop one
really great
nugget,
characters.
but you might consider it a spoiler. But I wanted to drop the one nugget though, dealing with Hughes.
Make me
Out of
hurry.
all of the state alchemists, he's truly not one.
Hughes is not a state alchemist. Hawkeye is not a
A
state
state
alchemist.
alchemist.
Everybody working under Mustang is not a state alchemist. Olivier, Alexander, Alex is an alchemist. He's a state alchemist. And his sister Olivier, also known as the North Wall of Briggs, is
The
not
general North Wall of
General
Bread.
Olivier Armstrong. She is not a state alchemist, but she is. Oh,
You
let's
do
just
not want to be
say,
on her bad side. Let
oh no.
alone let alone get close enough to actually wound her.
Oh, and
That's your ass. I'm sorry.
that is. Let's just say there was somebody who got stupid with her. He did not live to regret his stupidity. She does not take, this is a woman who, she don't take shit. That's the clearest way to put it. Olivia don't take shit. And
This
even
is
when
the
she's standing face to face with the number 2 baddie, this chick ain't blinking.
did
She
Bleak
does
and
not.
told her brother, who is an alchemist, go help everybody else. I got this.
You know,
And
she
he's like, but he's the number 2 baddie. What did I tell you? Go help
or
them. I
well,
got this.
also when I will give this away, she kills a commanding officer
Mm-hmm.
and then gets sent to Central. And instead of being sentenced, she goes up to the number 2 baddie and goes, was there a reason you killed him? And she said, yeah, because homie got up and told me a whole plan without me having to ask much about it. He deserved to die. And he was looking at her like, damn. And she got promoted.
Pretty much she went there and said, this was his whole plan. That whole plan is treasonous. What do you want me to do? Just calmly talk to you about it or kill the motherfucker?
It's like,
I did what you wanted me to do. Killed him. You got anything else? You got anything else better for me to do here? I gotta go back to my people.
well, she doesn't go back to her people, but she has to stay there. But she makes it clear that she knows the big baddie's plan
Mhm.
because this idiot told her. And she said, surely, for the sake of security, if for nothing else, I had to kill it. Because he just told it to me without little to no with little to no prodding. He just gave away your whole plan. And it was like, the big baddie's like, well, I could kill her. Or
He could try. He could try, but it
he
would be
could try.
he would be coming back with maybe a nub or something if he survived it.
Even though, we're talking Ralph. Yeah, I think he would have met his match in Olivier. It would have been fun to see. There are parts of me that would have liked to have seen, even for a couple of minutes, a Ralph and Olivier throwdown. I just think it would have, but considering what comes after that, I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. But still, part of me would have loved to have just seen her hand him his butt. I just would have loved to have seen him had his ass handed back to him by Olivier. But that's just me.
I'm still amazed about how Olivier kept her cool after Al did what he did, because it's like nobody ever talked back to me in that way in a situation like that,
Well,
and
Miles.
and still was proven right.
Well, here's the thing, because remember who Miles is and what
Mm-hmm.
Miles is,
Yep.
and her second in command is Inishvalan, and the war that Amestris fights is to exterminate his people. and he was enough emestrian that they decided not to kill him or kick him out the military. And she tells him, "You're gonna work for me." And he's like, but and she's like, she just sits down and says, "Hey, you got a problem with that? Come at me, bro. Just come at me." And it was like, damn, okay, she gonna hurt somebody up in here. And I'm happy she did hurt several somebodies. And we can't say more than that because we don't want to
Well, we
ruin
don't
it.
want to ruin it, but that was another pivotal moment in that series.
I love her, and understand, I love the alchemists in the show. I love the alchemists. I love the way they do the alchemy and alchemy. But I love the fact that you had people on that side who were not alchemists, but were just as heroic, just as capable. They didn't need
Or more
alchemy.
capable
Olivia,
than some of the alchemists that they did
Olivier
have.
doesn't need alchemy. Olivier will just get up and rip your liver out and go, "Oh, did you lose this?" Before you even know she didn't ripped out your liver.
You
You
see,
know,
now you made me think about another funny part dealing with Olivier.
and then Hawkeye she was Armstrong's second.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Who was on loan? She was on loan. She came on loan, and
she was the hostage. She was his hostage, and we can't give out too much of it.
uh-huh.
But they call her the Hawk's Eye because she don't miss what she aims at. You know,
And it doesn't matter how far away it is, she won't miss.
if you were in her crosshairs, just stand there and sing "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot" because you did. You did. The thing is though, most people who get in her crosshairs don't know they're in her crosshairs until they feel that bullet in their head. So you kind of screwed because she doesn't tell you, "Hey, you're in my crosshairs." It's just like, and that's it. But I loved her. I loved the rest of Armstrong's crew. They were fun. I love the fact that in this series, Winry, holy crap, Winry. I loved him. I love the fact that the women were as strong as the men in this series, whether they were alchemists or not. They were strong as the men. They were strong personalities. They weren't the women that they showed, even the one that you thought should be the help me, was not the "oh, help me." Renry had a strength, I think, that in many ways, especially considering everything going on around her, what happened in her childhood with her parents and stuff, I think she had some of the greatest strength in that series because
Winry
she had
to me
she
was
was able to do something that Scar and none of them could do. She had a right to her anger and her grief, and she could have let it lead her, and she didn't.
but her anger and her grief led her to greater wisdom, and that's what
That's
people
what I'm
don't
saying,
realize.
and
It's
that's
like,
something.
yeah, she was a mechanic. She was a mechanic, but it led her to greater
She
wisdom.
was an automail mechanic, but her grief and there are others who had grief, and I'm not saying they didn't deserve their, that they weren't right in their anger and their grief. But if we think about Scar,
Mm-hmm.
the actions that he takes, um, definitely put him, especially at the beginning of the series. Scar is a villain, and it's interesting to see people who were on the side of villains who um, even buried at Chopper, who I loved, who were on the side of villains because of their connection, because of being put in a position to look at things from a different perspective, end up rising above those angers. Those buried at Chopper was a psychotic killer, and yet hanging with Al and Ed
Mm-hmm.
and falling for Hawkeye, he becomes heroic. He becomes heroic. It's interesting.
Let's table that topic for a little bit later here.
Yeah,
I can answer mine on that one.
I do want to say one other thing about Brotherhood, about what you were saying here about the character development, because I always go back to the uniqueness between Hughes and Mustang, because if it wasn't for Hughes, Mustang would be a unrelenting officer. You did not want to see Mustang on a battlefield because he would have no remorse. If it wasn't for the fact that Hughes could calm a situation down without having to use power to do so, Mustang would be like so off the chain, and you just like, he would just be too much of an asshole of an officer. He would be too much of an asshole of an officer. He would have no humanity whatsoever on that battlefield.
I will comment from a voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
Hughes, the English voice actor for Hughes is none other than Travis Willingham, who is the CEO of the Critical Role company. This was one of his early animes. The woman who became his wife voiced Lust. And there's an exchange between them. It's like there's no way he could have done that with her in the room, because the way she responds to him, Laura Bailey is a beast.
Wait,
that's the deliciousness. Laura Bailey voices Lust in the English language dub.
Are we talking about the scene before Lust sent in Gluttony to take out Hughes?
No, I'm talking about where Lust and Mustang have their showdown.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
She plays it like a total seduction. How that man could have been in that studio and not had to take breaks because he had a serious stiffy is beyond that. Because I'm sitting there as a woman going, "Dang, I'm so glad I don't have a penis right now." Because, woo, girlie got me.
But maybe he was getting it that way every day, so it probably would be like not as much as a like, I gotta go to the bathroom type moment.
But yeah, now see, you ruined it, Elaine. I can't watch the show now because I'm going to think about, is this the thing where Elaine got a hard on?
Just call me. It's like, is this the scene?
No, I know what scene she's talking about. I know specifically what scene she's talking about.
You will know it when you see it. And not only will you get the, oh my goodness, she's seducing him. There's a bit of comedy in it because of what's going on in the scene. Mm-hmm. It makes it it's seductive, it's horrifying, it's also kind of funny. Whoa.
No, that was just one of those hiccups, internet hiccups.
It was like, oh my god, we lost Cliff. Grayson got him. But like I said, highly recommended. If you want to watch Buddy, we'll work something out. Okay. And we'll watch. I will happily sit and watch that together, even if we're just sitting on the phone going, "Oh my god, did you see that?" Or you need me to explain
the scene. You would know the scene when you see it, because it's a doozy. Because it's like you have to. Well, until you know the character of Roy Mustang, you would not see him in a situation like this. Mm-hmm. And when you put him in a situation like this, it makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder. Will he let his guard down or not?
And you see him at one of the darkest moments of his life since the Israeli War of Extermination. And you realize,
and he's been in kill every Isballan there is.
No. Kimberly did that. That wasn't Roy, even though their powers are similar. Kimberly was the one that came in and did the real damage.
He did the real damage, but Kimberly is why Roy to his limit, because remember, Roy was like, I'm disciplined. We have to do this a certain way to be on the safe side. Kimberly was like, I don't care. Let's just wreck them all.
Kimberly is like, let's just kill everything in sight. But like I said, it is, this show has so many great layers, but
Mm.
in it's in
It's
at
Outback
its
blooming onion.
core,
It's
it
an Outback
is,
blooming onion.
and it's at its core, um it's about the family that you're born into and the family that you find, and
Mm.
how, as you open your heart for both those, to make room for both those groups, it expands your understanding of life. um or as Ed says, a heart made full metal. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry now. I cried. I'm sorry.
Um,
It hit me in the feels.
But Ed was right.
He is
mhm.
right. He is right. And like I said, I love, and the thing I also love is the music.
Mm.
The music from this series. I actually have two of Sid's songs, plus I finally found the chemistry piece, and there's another one, as well as Uso's, the beginning, the opening music from the first season, which is by this really cute girl, um, and it's great. This series has really great kick-ass music.
It
Mm.
does.
It has really great
It
kick-ass
spans
music.
different eras during, I want to say, kind of like 1940s, 1950s.
Well,
Yeah.
also it because the opening music is Usos,
Hmm.
and it's, or no, that's something else called Usos. It's, what's her name? I can't remember her name right now, and I can't pull up my phone. Um, it's called So or something like that. But it's the girl, she's playing guitar, and it's got very much a sort of punky, it's got kind of a punk rock guitar. Her, and it's funny because the harshness of the guitar and the softness of her voice are really well balanced in it. And let your girls hear those songs, and if you thought K-pop Demon Hunters, the soundtrack for Full Metal Alchemist.
And they're talking about Doomsday, dealing with the
Yeah.
MCU here.
Tom and Noel, I know we'll probably come back to this topic closer to San Diego. I will just openly say personally, once they announced that Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Doctor Doom, I lost complete all interest in anything with Phase 6, 7, 19, whatever their own, because again, TVMA, fuck you, Tony Stark is not that important. So I'm
I
done.
my
I do
heart,
not care what they do.
I'm not sure what I want to feel about it. I'm not sure what I want to feel about it. Part of me is like, you know what? There were other actors who could have played that role. He didn't want to play Tony Stark anymore. Fine. I'm not going to hold you out against you. But then it's like, what? You had other stuff. You did Sherlock Holmes. You had other movies you could have gone undone. Or you made enough money, you could have just retired and lived quietly
Mm-hmm.
and just gone to a, and just do what actors did when they were British actors used to do, is they just went the rounds of events. But no, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, I don't know what your, where your head is. It's like you left it. Leave it
Mm-hmm.
alone. This
And
isn't
now,
like this isn't like Chris Evans coming into Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine, for that interesting little thing where people thought he was Captain America, and it turned out he was going back to do the
The
his
original
version of
Johnny Storm. He was
the
the original
original
mm-hmm.
Johnny
Johnny
Storm.
Storm.
Yeah.
So that was, and he was putting his version of that character to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was like, okay, I'm down with that. I can deal with that. I don't have a problem. But I like I said, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it.
I
Um,
know how I'm feeling about it, but people don't want me to go truly TVMA on it.
and I'm not focused, and I realize I'm not as focused about it because this month, as soon as my sister is sponsoring the family to go see Mandalorian and Grogu, because my youngest is a Grogu idiot, and my sister dotes on him. He got one of those early animatronic Grogus, and he doesn't let anybody touch it. And it sleeps with him and sleeps in his bed, and that's his baby. But we're going to go see that, and I'm there are a couple of movies that are in the works that I'm kind of curious about.
Mhm.
As Also, it's like the next seasons of Vox Machina is due out next month. This month, there's Good Omens. And for those of you who are Firefly fans, okay, Firefly fans, let's try this again. Um, it's official. They got Joss Whedon's blessing. They got the studio's blessings. They got showrunners from the original series, and they have a script. They've got a cast. Alan Tudyk is a part of it, so I don't know what the timeline is, but they are doing a Firefly series. It's going to be animated. I don't, and Alan Tudyk is definitely going to be part of it, which is kind of confusing because, excuse me, anybody who saw Serenity knows what happened to Wash. And it's like, okay, you also know what happened to Shepherd Book. And Ron Glass is no longer with us. So, and unless they're going to get, LeVar Burton to voice him the way he filled in for Reddick, I just don't know where they're going with those stories. I don't know how far back, if it makes it to do it where it makes sense, unless they're going to retcon Serenity, which is the movie. They're going to have to go prior to Serenity on for it, which means we get to see River Song go crazy again. Serenity actually brought her back into some sense of sanity, which means we now get to go back to Crazy River. I don't know if I want to go down that thingy. Um, so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do it. I am happy though that as a fan of the series Grimm, they have been greenlit. The studio Peacock, I think it's Peacock, has greenlit them for a movie. If the movie does well enough, they will then go on to a series. And they're talking about how they at least have learned the lesson of, if you're going to do a series, you can't retcon it and go, oh, everything that came before is, bullshit, and we're just going to focus on the next generation or something. They laid the groundworks for the follow up to Grimm. So yeah, we will see the kids and the twins, but they're bringing David Gentuli back. We will see Monroe. I don't know about Rosalie. Turns out the woman that played Juliet in that series, and Gentuli, met on that series, fell in love, and are a married couple. So she's kind of played it of, well, I'll come back depending on what the script says. So we
Hmm.
don't know, but we know David's going to be back. Um, they would like to continue that saga of Grimm, and I'm for it. I loved Grimm. My youngest and I used to watch that on NBC every Friday night. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. I'm hoping they get greenlit for the series if the movie does well. Um, and that's all the news I have on movies and TV and pop culture right now, because
Well,
I'm old and I need a nap.
yeah. Well, I'm going to say this real quick about the whole Phase 7. Marvel Studios have no idea which direction they're going to go in. They have no clue whatsoever. And it all started back with the whole thing about the King plans falling through, when they couldn't use Kang as the big bad anymore.
Yeah.
All the other movies fell apart because everything was built upon one another, and and, and even after all of the allegations and everything have been proven false, they never went back to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
now
is
with Robert Downey Jr. being Doom, they're hoping that people will get psyched up for him to play a character that is not like what he already played. And the thing about it is that they're using the nostalgia for what had happened in Infinite's Iron Man, if you ever read that series, to kind of be like the, if I could say, the launch pad for him to play a Doctor Doom.
Okay.
If it was me, and with all the stuff that had happened with the movies before, there are people been sitting up here waiting for the next X-Men movie. Because I would have started phase 7 with bring the X-Men movie back, fit, or at least finish off the stuff that you started with.
Yeah.
What happened to the Council of Kings? What happened in the Externals movie about the so-called celestial that was growing out of the earth? It's almost like, oh, that big thing that's still sticking out of the earth is still there, but we don't care about it because nobody's paying any attention to it. They never finish the story arc for anything. And they just left things out there hoping that, oh yeah, it's going to be like 15, 20 years before people start thinking about this again. Or if we leave it alone for that long, people have forgotten about it and it's not quote unquote canon for that universe.
Which is
I think they
stupid.
should just leave the X-Men characters in their own separate cinematic universe.
No, I wait. I'm
And
waiting for.
only
I'm
and
waiting
only
for it.
every once in a while have them cross over, kind of like, you know, in the 80s and the 90s with the comics, there was what's happening in the X-Men, and there's what's happening in the rest of Marvel, because
People keep
they're
forgetting.
introducing too many all at once. Because I think they cannot introduce all the X-Men characters and be like, oh, these are all new people we never heard of before. But they can't, and they also can't do like they did with the Fantastic Four and said, oh, they've been here all along. People just forgot about them, because then they're just doing the same thing again.
Well,
They
that's the
need to
reason why
leave
they
them in
did.
their own place.
Well, they did things certain ways, like first
Mm-hmm.
steps. If you notice with X-Men First Steps here, there's only a handful of characters that had already been introduced in the MCU that were mentioned in First Steps. Cap was mentioned, and I believe Cap was mentioned, and I believe Tony was mentioned. But the Tony that they mentioned was young Tony Stark,
Mm-hmm.
not Tony that died in you know, at the end of Endgame. Not the same one here.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, X-Men had established itself with the Marvels movie. So there is no reason why they can't do a X-Men movie, because they established new mythos for Monica, her mother, and the X-Men universe, because she crossed the multiverse. Monica
Mm-hmm.
actually crossed into the multiverse and was in a different universe,
We're talking
where
Monica
her
Rambo.
mother is quote unquote what we call it dang it, what was Carol binary.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes, Maria is binary according
No.
to the Marvels movie. Yes,
Except
she.
binary,
Mhm.
the girl who became binary originally dated Johnny Storm.
Mm.
Yes. If I'm going way back in the way back machine, you guys would have
Now,
been in.
you're thinking about Nova, the Herald of Galactus, Frankie Ray. She
Yes.
was her stepfather was the guy who created the android Human Torch
Right.
and had some kind of weirdo flame power from it, and then she became Galactus' Herald. Binary was
There was
when
an
Carol
accident.
Danvers.
She was
Mm-hmm.
helping him move
Yeah.
some chemicals around, and there was an accident. She slipped and fell. The thing she was carrying bust open, and she survived it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
But
because she now had flame power, she and Johnny could do to
right.
do, and he didn't have to be afraid of hurting her.
Yeah.
And then
And she
things
became.
changed, and she ended up with the X-Men when they had to
No,
face off against the Brood.
that's Carol Danvers.
No.
Frankie Ray was Nova, and she became a Herald of Galactus. Carol Danvers lost her Miss Marvel powers and became binary and hung
That's
out with
right.
the X-Men and fought Brood.
And they fought the Brood, because she comes into the picture after when Storm to get rid of the one she's impregnated,
Mhm.
blows up her ship.
Exactly. So that's why I say in the MCU they have established that Maria Rambeau, her mom
Is
in
now
that
binary.
alternate universe became binary.
See,
And it was like it's kind of weird how the Marvels movie ended with that because
they keep
technically.
retconning it, and
Hmm?
it they keep retconning it. And those of us, Marvel, you could have waited 20 years when I'm either dead or kind of in my own whatever where it wouldn't matter to me. You could have given me another 25 years before, deciding to whip your thing out and piss all over my memories. Um,
But
I just
again, the whole thing about it is that they finally did a movie where they kind of didn't make Carol the hero. They made Kamala and Monica more like the people to watch.
yeah, it wasn't
And what
it
Monica
wasn't like
did at the
1960.
end saved everybody. But instead of killing her off, they put her in. They found her in a alternate universe, and her mother is still alive because remember she got blinked when her mother died from cancer
Mm-hmm.
in the established MCU.
But her mother is also in the Scarlet Witch and Vision. Isn't that her mother in Scarlet Witch, or is that supposed to be Monica in Scarlet Witch and
No,
Vision?
that was Monica.
Okay,
That was Monica
okay,
older. That was Monica as a grown up. Because
yeah,
remember, in WandaVision,
yeah, one
she
division.
got she came back after the blip, and everybody was like, "Wait a second, I thought you was here." It's like, don't you realize your mom has been dead for 5 years? How are you still here? Why are you still here?
It was.
So
It's
you
very
know,
confusing. Like I said, you could have given me
it's
25 years.
weird. It's weird, but it's just like Phase 7 is like there should be no reason why they can't do an X-Men movie. We need another Fantastic Four movie. We need another Fantastic Four movie since you have already started the lore to say that the Fantastic Four cartoon is now canon in that universe.
Now, are they going back to the Fantastic Four cartoon of my childhood, or are they going
Yeah,
back?
they went back to 1960s. They said
Okay,
that the 1960s cartoon is kind of canon because they were based upon the stories and everything. Because thing was like, yeah, those the cartoons are over exaggerated. It really didn't happen that way, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
really the stories of what we actually went through.
I like the cartoons, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
weird that way.
I do too. I do too. But we need another Fantastic Four movie. We need the resolution about what actually happened with the unformed Celestial.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
We
and
need we don't. To me, it was like we don't need a Doomsday.
no,
We need better resolution on Shang Chi. What are the Ten Rings really are?
yeah,
We don't need anything
We
with
need a
Shang-Chi.
Wong movie.
We
We
don't
need
need
a
anything
Wong
with
movie because
Shang-Chi.
Wong is technically Sorcerer Supreme.
that's right. He is.
Mm-hmm.
We need a Wong movie, but nobody want to do that. And then all the other TV series that's going on, it's like we're not going to see those characters on the big screen. We're not going to see Wonder Man. We're not going to see She-Hulk coming to the big screen. There's supposed to
I
be another Jessica Jones that's supposed to be coming out, but they're
and
not
I
going to.
like the Jessica Jones series.
Mhm.
It was interesting to see David Tennant as the big bad because
Purple Man.
we're used to seeing him as the hero, as the doctor, and he's the hero. Hey, Leia.
That would be a funny ass sitcom, but it would be serious and funny at the same time. Madison and Wongers.
But I liked her character. I liked that group they did. They when they revised her character, and then the others, and I keep forgetting what the group was called.
What,
Netflix did.
Defenders? You talk about
Yeah, the
the Defenders.
Defenders.
Yeah.
When they did the Defenders, and it was her and
It was
Daredevil,
her, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Daredevil.
Daredevil all brought together. I liked that series. I would have loved to have seen more of that. Um,
Ooh.
Well,
I
again,
need to talk to
that comes
Grayson.
back to my complaint. That comes back down to
Okay.
my complaint about
I'm using my
MCU.
psychic powers.
They
I'm
left.
summoning Grayson. You are in
The
trouble.
Defenders
They're,
will
they're, they're,
always
they're,
be Doctor Strange, Namor, the Silver Surfer, and the Hulk. That's the Defenders.
Well, that's not what we
That's
got
always
now.
going to be the Defenders. F.
that's
Jessica
that's
Jones
that's
and Matt
that's
Murdock
70s, 80s defenders.
and Matt
In the
Murdock said it
in the
himself.
2000s, they have changed it.
I I enjoyed the Defender series. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. I would have liked to have seen more of it. But then I love
Thank you.
Werewolf by Night, and I
Yes.
wanted. I'm really upset that we have not gotten more Werewolf by Night movies. Why don't we
No,
have the
no, we need a
series?
Man Thing movie.
We need a Man Thing movie.
We need a, again. They had the door open for a Man Thing movie because they introduced Man Thing. They could have had a Bloodstone movie because they had introduced Elsa Bloodstone, and Elsa Bloodstone was on the type of on the height of her popularity when they did Werewolf by Night. They up there like, wait a second, they did Elsa Bloodstone, and we got part of her family history, and they could have went right into a Elsa Bloodstone movie, but no, Marvel
There-
Studios, we're not going to go that route.
which is like, well, why are you even? It's like they're throwing stuff against the wall, and the audience is going, that was good, that was good, that was fun, and the stuff that we're going, that was good, that was fun, that was interesting, they're going, oh, okay, screw that. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and then you wonder why we're not being as loyal as you would like us to be, because the stuff that we're saying, I want more of this. This was good. You better play me some flaming tuba. I'm just saying, when I die, there better be some damn flaming tuba. And yes, Joe, you have to play it. You better start learning that tuba, dude. But I'm really, it breaks my heart to think that there's stuff that they kind of played with that people like myself have liked. And then they're like, well, it's like, why?
Like
It's
Agatha all along, they could have kept that.
I
Even though they introduced the twins into the MCU, Wanda's twins, as older, but
I wasn't a fan of it, but I know a lot of people did love it, and I'm
I
like,
mean, it wasn't bad, but they could have kept it. It's like it really didn't have a home. Nobody was really craving for more Agatha Harkness. I'm sorry.
I just wasn't. I wasn't feeling her. I will say
I'm
I
just
wasn't
gonna be
feeling
honest
her,
with
but then
you.
I wasn't feeling. I wasn't feeling
I
Scarlet
wasn't
Witch
feeling Wanda's twins either.
I have gotten to the point after Endgame where the stuff that I was looking forward to was so terrible. I don't want to watch anymore. I'm I will pick and choose what to watch like I do with other stuff. But no, I was so excited for the next Black Panther. Yes, I knew it was not going to be near as good because of Chadwick Boseman wasn't going to be in it, and that crazy little girl who plays his sister was going to be. But when they announced they were going to introduce Namor to it, I was so excited. And then when we got that load of crap, and they're not Atlanteans, they are freaking Mexican
Mayans.
Smurfs.
They're
They
Mayans
were
or
Mexicans.
Incans.
They're Mexican Smurfs.
It's Smurfs. Okay.
I'm like, I am done. And then Shang-Chi, I was like, all right, we're gonna have a kick-ass super spy black who can hang with Shield and Black Widow, and they made him a goofy ass man baby who sings karaoke. I was done. I don't care. Do not care about what they do anymore with any of this shit because they're gonna find some way to screw it up. Call me when Man of Tomorrow hits the screen.
Okay.
They're going to mess that up too.
Look, James Gunn did great with the first Superman movie. It wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but that was my Superman, and I loved every second of it. I even looked, and if they decided they were going to make a Mr. Terrific movie, I would buy out a theater to watch it.
They messed up Justice League.
They did mess
I'm
up Justice
sorry.
League, but that's because
They
James
fucked up their main bread and butter, which is Justice League. With that,
Now,
They also
I can
screwed
tell
it
you what they're going to end up
animation
doing
wise.
is they didn't call them the Justice League. They did not call them the Justice League.
Did they call
They
them the
are
Justice
not going
Society?
to drop. No, they called them the Justice Gang or something. They already established there was a JSA.
Oh,
no, the
okay.
JSA was already established, but
What they're
what they were
going to
supposed to
do
be
is
was the beginnings of the Justice League
they're going to
minor
call this
minus Green
Justice Gang.
Arrow.
They're going to call this Justice Gang up until they're ready, up until Paramount takes over and changes their plans, or they get ready for the movie, and it's going to be Justice League, and it will be the Seven. It will not be these guys.
Well, I just watched
Again,
Justice
if
League
it was
War
me
World.
and if I was James Gunn, I was like, just give us Justice League year one. It's like we already established Oliver Queen. Oliver Queen has his money. He finally takes, it's like we finally get revealed that Oliver was funding these, Mr. Terrific and all of them as a whole here, and just create a brand new seven for the Justice League. All of it was there in this Superman movie, but they messed it up. Oh, we're going to be the Justice Gang, this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. And we're not really co-workers and blah. It's like, why are you messing around with DC continuity and history?
Because they don't do
Why
that at
don't
Marvel
go
at
ahead and
all.
say it's like, yeah, we're not the Justice League, but yet something is in the works. So it's like, and again, the mysterious benefactor that was supporting those three. All up there was like, it's Oliver Queen. You already established that. Come on.
There have been 74 incarnations of the Justice League.
Yeah. Justice Gang, right.
Guy Gardner was perfect in that movie.
Yeah, again.
Mr. Terrific was
The
perfect.
recipe was there. The recipe was
Mr.
there.
Terrific was perfect. I could care less about Hawk Girl. But at the end of the day, I ignored all of them because this was a Superman movie. They have time with all this other nonsense that's not going to get made because Paramount's going to screw it up to do whatever they want to with the Justice League, this or that. I finally had a Superman movie where I could say, I love this movie.
Was this
I cannot
Cavill?
say that.
Was this Cavill as Superman? Or
No.
Look, if I ever meet Henry Cavill, I'm going to tell him, sir, I loved you in The Witcher, but if you ever come near Superman again, I will personally kill you.
I don't know. You need to have me as backup then, because I've kind of figured out how I can get him in about 6 hits. I'm not sure if you're going to go up against him unless you bring Grayson with you.
Even half
Grayson
crippled
and
and
I
really
can take
dead,
him
right?
down.
Why do you need Grayson when you got a Leia?
Why do I need any of y'all when I will double leg him and drop him on his head and then choke him? Okay. Even though I'm half crippled, I can still beat not Superman's ass.
Not Superman's
ass. Now I want to draw something that I gotta find pictures of Henry Cavill's ass so I can draw not Superman's ass.
Joe, we got way off topic with all this. Did you do anything for Free Comic Book Day?
No, I did not do anything for Free Comic Book Day. I did not. Again, like I said, the people who pull my books takes care of me on Free Comic Book Day, so I don't worry about going to stores like that anymore unless I really want every last book that came out.
I don't get as much time in there because John, even when you get there in the first hour, it's crowded at First Aid, and it's a small shop. It's got 2 floors, but it's a small shop, and they give the books away on the 2nd floor in the gaming area. But there are a lot of people there in a small space, and that just kind of wigs John out. So he's good to the point of get upstairs, let me pick out my comics. I will chill enough for you to get yours. Okay, are you buying me anything? No, fine. Let's get the hell up out of here. Now take me somewhere where you're going to spend money on me. So,
but he was in a place where money can be spent on him, so that was the cool thing in the long run.
By the time we left, he was happy. Courtney was happy because she got to go to the Barnes and Nobles. I'll have to take pictures. It's a really nice one. It's bright and sunny. It's not as big as some of
I
the
didn't
other.
go in it, but I have been by it. I looked inside. I did some window shopping. I didn't
It's
go
got a
inside.
nice vibe, and like I said, it's got a decent manga section. It's got a decent. When Charles looked at the manga section and went, "I can be happy here," it's like, okay, they have crossed the necks, and he's satisfied. They even still have magazines. I'm like, great. All I have to do now is explain to them, I really need you to carry Mad Magazine on a regular basis, because this will be my second place to find it.
Um, yeah, down here the shops weren't as crowded as they have been in the past, but we went a little bit later in the afternoon. Um, I felt I felt kind of sad and proud at the same time because free comic book day has become a a tradition where my oldest and I go out and we go to the book comic shops, and then we go have lunch together. But this year, just because her sisters are getting older, I was like, hey, do you want to take your sisters? And we could all go. And she goes, just to be honest with you, I like the way we always did it, where it's just you and me. So I was
Okay,
like, oh, but
it's
it's
a
like
hurry daddy thing.
I have other kids, but
Yeah, he probably
but
looked at you, was like, "That's a you problem."
yeah, but
I
it was
I
I'm
didn't
glad it
get you pregnant, so that is not my business. I did not impregnate you.
so I'm glad that we got to stick to it just being us, and we hit up a couple shops. I did not pull out everything I got, um, honestly, because I rearranged and forgot where a lot of it was. But I did get the DC Next Level Free Comic Book Day book. I
Okay.
got the Avengers when you got Elaine.
Mm-hmm.
Flipping through it, I can already tell I am not going to like it because they're screwing up time travel in the Marvel universe again.
Oh
So I don't
shoot.
want to mess with that.
Okay. Well,
Um,
then I won't read that one, because, like I said, I was gonna suggest we could both read it and compare notes. But if that's what it's like, no, that's one I can toss,
well,
because usually I
again,
will keep them.
I haven't read it, so I don't know this for sure, but it revolves around Red Hulk constantly resetting the timeline until he gets an outcome for his war that he wants.
Yeah.
And for up until Bendis came along, it's always been in the Marvel universe. You can't do anything with time travel. Every time you time travel, you create a different, an alternate reality. So
Well, that's
that's
the
their way
problem
of.
with TVA, with Marvel
So
TVA,
mm,
the Time Bureau.
so I'm not looking forward to that. I did pick up, and I'm very excited to read it. The Greatest American Hero is apparently getting his own comic series,
Oh,
and
okay. I
I
love
to
that
this
series.
day, I to this day still sing that theme song whenever I get the chance.
Believe
Um,
it or not, I'm
I'm
walking
walking on air.
on air.
Yeah, no, Grayson's gonna
Sorry.
stab me, but
I still don't like. I still don't like the TV ending for that series.
mm-mm,
Yeah,
Do you guys remember the ending?
I don't remember the
vaguely.
ending. I don't remember the ending.
The aliens come back and they give him another instruction book, and he loses it again.
Oh,
That sounds about right.
great. That
Mm,
that
yeah.
I
Well,
loved Robert Culp in that
he's been
series.
doing all this stuff with the suit and everything. I think the suit only got destroyed once.
Mm-hmm.
But the key thing is that the aliens, when they gave him the suit, they also gave him instructions about how to use it.
And they lost that. But
Yeah.
he also
No,
had
it got
Robert.
destroyed. It
It
got
got
destroyed.
okay.
It got
And
destroyed. It's like he didn't think nothing of it until he realized, like, oh, there was a book, and I forgot who got to it first and destroyed it.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
loved Robert Culp in that series,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
because those of us who grew up, Robert Culp was, of course, in I Spy.
Mhm.
He was the lead in I Spy, and of course, he who must not be named was also in that series.
We just
But
named him the boxer. Because that was his profession in I Spy, the boxer.
Hmm.
I thought he was supposed to be Cope's
He was a former
trainer.
boxer.
He was a former boxer before the series because they were both spies. Colt was supposed to be a tennis player and he was like his trainer or something, which explained why they were always traveling together.
Hmm.
I could have sworn that he not really a trainer, but he was kind of like the kind of like a combat expert. It's like he was trying to teach him how to fight.
Hmm.
There was
Per
something,
se.
but I'm saying their cover,
hmm
which is why they were always together, is Cope was the tennis player, and he was supposed to be his trainer's churches and at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out or I pick up the phone. Where could I be?
Believe it or
And
not,
I
I'm
can
not.
hear that going in my head with the music. Oh,
I also picked up the Spider-Man free one that you got, Elaine, and I'm going to talk
yes.
about that in a second. But the other thing I got, the other big purchases I made, because my comic book shops always do like big sales to go along with free comic book day. I picked up all of what is it called? DC's Next Level number ones that came out,
Mhm.
and I'm going to try and talk about them over the next couple of shows because
Yay.
I grabbed two of them with me to talk about
Oh,
today and cuss
you're
at.
not showing books. Okay, I thought you
Not
about
yet.
to show 'em.
But what I also got, and I was really happy I picked this up for so cheap, was I found a near perfect raw copy of Detective Comics 566, which is
Oh,
the issue that has Batman going through the art gallery and it's all of his rogues on the wall in portraits. I've always loved that cover, and I finally found a copy that's actually it's near perfect. It's still got the pages are still white and everything, so I'm looking forward to that.
I think
Yeah,
John
Leia,
got his Stitch books.
I got the stitch books for my and the holograms for my little girls.
I think John got the Stitch, or no, maybe he didn't pick the Stitch. I forget which ones he picked. He will pick his books and then give them to me to carry. I carried everybody's books. So
Mhm.
I had my five, I had Charles's five, I had Courtney's books, and I had John's books. Luckily, I had my backpack so I could carry them all in. Um, but yeah, I was kind of the
The book
pack mule.
guardian.
Yeah, I was the bookman. But that's
So,
why I take my backpack, and
mhm,
then we went to Barnes and Nobles and we went to the Walgreens,
mhm,
which turned out to be good because John decided he wanted a double size Snickers, not Snicker, Milky Way, and then Courtney and I got we got was that the cherry float flavored Pepsis? We got those, and I found out John will drink those so long as it's mine.
sounds about right.
I
You're talking like, is
offered to
that
buy him.
yours? Yes, it's mine. Look, 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 look.
I offered to buy him a soda. He didn't want a soda. We got home. He let me know he wanted that soda. And so I got to drink about half that soda before, he got and claimed what was left of it. So it's like, oh, he'll only drink it if
Don't
it's
you
mine.
don't you know by now? Mom and Dad's taste better.
There are certain things that, yeah, that works for.
I can't because that's part of new comic book pickups for the week. So she got to wait till Saturday.
Oh,
See, she sent me some books.
Hmm.
So that's new
oh.
comic book pick. It's part of new comic book pickups for the
Hmm.
week here.
Well,
And also, I
I tell
found
you what. Did she get?
She's
Hold
like,
on.
no.
Did Beanie get this, Leia? Did Beanie get the Last Kids on Earth?
mm, um,
Oh, now you hurt Beanie's feelings. She's
No,
upset.
I know I got something that would make Beanie squeal to no end, and I'm probably going to end up
Uh-oh.
telling her what she got sitting over here.
You have made a small but powerful enemy, and it's incoming. You are in trouble.
No, I'm not in no trouble because
it's
again,
worse than if you bust Mr. Bubbles.
again,
Yeah.
I'm about to break out the beanie knife.
Yeah, I might.
I
Grayson
got the
has
ultimate
discovered.
beanie knife right now.
Grayson has discovered that there is a Quiet Place comic from the movie, based
Oh,
on the movie,
Now,
and
beanie,
she's been reading it. I may let her come on here and talk about it one day if
oh,
she
that's
beanie, you
behaves.
great.
remember the mystery book that I told you about that I got
Yes.
for you?
Oh, you talking to Beanie?
Beanie, you remember that mystery book?
She says she needs to see bookies now, or she will
Nope.
explode.
I'm just going to show you
You
what I
are
got
going
to
to
you.
explode a
The,
child.
the mystery book that she got is a Scamp #2. I'm still looking for a Scamp #1, but there's Scamp #2. This is something that you don't have. And I found this particularly for you. That's going to be going into your pile here. This was the
Okay.
mystery book that I told your mom not to tell you about. There she
Oh, she's
goes.
happy now.
Yep.
Okay. Now she's happy.
So that she got.
Holy crap, she went supersonic.
Okay.
So you're
But
gonna
yeah,
bring Grayson on to talk about.
eventually,
Yeah.
eventually.
I like
The
the
two,
girl. How they're doing with the art.
we had another never-ending sleepover,
Oh
so now
no.
they're trapped upstairs where I can have some quiet.
Yay.
Okay. So
Um, no, because he once Daddy becomes the bad guy and says, "No, little girls, you've been here for 5 days. Go back to your house." I become the bad guy because I make them do schoolwork, and it's
well,
been
the art that art book is schoolwork.
it doesn't matter. It has
That,
been a trying time around here because of
I'm
it.
sorry. Can I
Wait.
help?
Eh.
Why can't you
Only
be
if
the
you know how to start a
why
fire
why can't you
What type
be
of
the
fire do you
truly
need to
mean
start?
daddy
and get rid of a body.
and pack up your girl stuff and be like, look, little girls, y'all gotta go back to your place and take these two with you.
What type of
Well, no,
fire do you
see,
need to start?
I need to find the kind that you can hide a body in.
Okay. I was thinking more, Girl Scouts. Hey, there's the twigs, or you can take a magnifying glass and
Now, see, my girls have gotten too big to fit in the microwave and the oven, so I have to get creative now.
oh,
Um,
don't you hurt my girls.
oh, but I picked up for the first two #1s that I grabbed today.
Hmm.
Was Lobo #1, and I
Okay.
know we're only got 10 minutes left, so I'm gonna do this really quick.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is a
because
steaming pile.
I got two to talk about too.
Oh shit.
This is a steaming pile of shit.
Oh damn.
This is so
That's how you
bad.
started.
Gotti Young, I've read some of your stuff and I greatly enjoy it. Whatever they told you to do with this book, ignore it. Just write a comic book. Don't try and make some kind of look. It is a throwback to the '90s image wannabe book full of pop culture references and breaking the fourth wall. And because it's Lobo, we have to make fun of Lipstick Lobo for a minute in it and kill a bunch of people and say not cuss words, blah, 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 blah. Fuck this. Just write a Lobo comic. Just write a Lobo comic. Write about him being the last Zarnian. Write about him being the dude who can come back from a heal from a drop of his own blood and keep going. You don't have to do this nonsense bullshit because I guarantee you the readers from the '90s don't want a retread of that, and the people today are too young to remember it. Stop. This was fucking terrible. But on a brighter topic, Batwoman #1.
Ooh.
Batwoman #1. I'm not a fan of the art, but it is the art style of the Batwoman series that Greg Rucka did back after 52, not the
Okay.
new 52, but the weekly series 52
Mhm.
Oh,
that came
okay.
out. Yeah, Greg Rucka was the creator of this version of Batwoman, and he apparently, because I didn't read a lot of it, to be honest with you, because there were a lot of more interesting things happening in DC than the Bat books at the time, so they went on the back burner for me. Um, but from what I do know of Greg Rucka's run on this, it really kind of feels like he just said, I really don't give a shit what they did with her since I left the book. I'm telling my story from then again, because this is all about her sister and their connection to Darkseid, and all that stuff that they set up in 52 and were doing in the Batwoman took over Detective for a little while, if I remember right.
For a short period. For a short period.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure this picks up from where Greg Rucka left Batwoman at. It wasn't great. I like the character growth that she had after he left, but this one was intriguing enough. I'm probably going to keep going with it at least for next, until they fill up the first trade. Um, but it was after I read that, after I read Lobo, and holy shit, that was the greatest comic book I've ever read in my life after getting through with Lobo. Oh my god. It could have been an instruction manual on how to repair my oven, and it would have been a better comic book. I'm just saying. I'm saying Scotty Young has written some stuff I really like. Like
Like
I think
Twig.
it's called I think it's called I Hate Fairyland.
I don't care for that one. Twig was a better read than I Hate Fairyland.
I like that style for I Hate Fairyland. I do not like that style for a 2026 DC comic moving forward. It just doesn't, I don't like it. But yeah, so those were the two I read this week. Next time on, I'm going to do Firestorm and Zatanna, which I'm really looking forward to.
Ooh.
Um, and I might skim the Deathstroke comic. Um, it didn't grab me flipping through it, but I might. Um, the last thing I was going to talk about was, since Elaine grabs it, I saved it for last. The Free Comic Book Day, Amazing Spider-Man, Queen in Black, and Infernal Hulk Free Comic Book Day book. Now, again, I have not faithfully followed anything in the Spider Universe since they did away with the marriage and the Spider Baby. Just
It
because
broke
I'm
my
like,
heart that they did away
I
with the marriage.
I can't deal with that. That's some stupid shit, because none of the people who saw the movie are going to go run out and buy the comic book and be upset because Peter Parker's married. That was some stupid shit. Um, but I picked this one up specifically because it's continuing, for one page only, the storyline of Peter Parker's cousin, which we'll get to because it's the last page. At the beginning of it, he's talking about everything that's happened in the Spider-Man books. Uh, aliens, magic, Mary Jane is Venom, uh, a serial killer nearly took out my family. So that's all the stuff that's been happening in the Spider books, and he's fighting the villain of the week called the Answer right now, which I've never heard of, but he seems like a pretty cool character because it says his power is he literally spawns new powers to answer any problems he faces. So he's kind of like Resurrection Man from DC. Um,
Okay.
but he's upset because the world is so stupid right now, which I totally agree with. And he attacks the Daily Bugle because uh, Jameson is having some kind of media day, and it's full of podcasters, and not the good kind. There's a dude in here talking about the Lemurian society pushing AI actresses to normalize non-humans in everyday life, uh, fashion, flat Earth. I'm just like, what? Seriously? And so Spider-Man beats this guy by not fighting him because the answer to a fight to not a fight is not fighting. Whatever. And then the very last page, we get this guy named Mr. Crane, who is the mysterious person that the serial killer has been going after as part of Peter Parker's family. It looks just like his dad from the '90s comics, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, this is a personal thing. I know that some people love him, but I hate JR's artwork. I just hate it.
Junior
Nobody
Dream.
looks real. Everybody looks like they look like Lobo shit them out or something. I can't stand it. But we get the confirmation that the mysterious Mr. Crane, he had a genetic test done, and he is a 99% parental match to somebody whose last name is Parker.
Oh, great. So we're not going to know who.
This is carrying on all the way to Amazing Spider-Man 1000, where we find out, I don't know, Aunt May had an affair with Tony Stark, and that's Peter's real parents. I don't know.
Because I can see them doing that, and it's not a pleasant. It's not a pleasant picture in my mind.
Yeah, and it's not the hot Marissa Tomei Aunt May either. It's the wheat cakes Miss Aunt May who married Dr. Octopus.
Oh, great.
Okay, and then the next one we have up is the Queen in Black thing, which I like Al Ewing as a writer. He wrote probably my favorite Hulk comic ever, and the Immortal Hulk. And Queen in Black picks up the ongoing saga from Venom of Null, the god of the symbiotes or whatever. And somehow or another, at the end of King in Black, Eddie Brock became the new King in Black. But apparently along the way somehow that all fell apart, and Mary Jane Watson is now Venom. Eddie Brock is Carnage, and Hela, the goddess of the underworld in Norse mythology, is now the Queen in Black.
Hela, the daughter of Loki.
Yeah.
Yes.
So whatever. Oh no. Remember.
No. They changed that. The daughter of Odin.
Yes, we're making this like the MCU. She's their sister.
Daughter of Odin. Yeah.
And Loki is a beautiful man, so that's just...
Loki's always been a beautiful man, but he's
a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man in human clothing that's supposed to be a frost giant.
He's also given birth to a horse.
So apparently Hela has been going through the universe and venomizing different alien races, and now they're going to invade Earth. Yeah. Because this shows all the different alien races above Earth and their venom ships, and they're going to attack. And then we go into detail here, and this is where I don't know if I was going to laugh, cry, or just shit my pants because it made no sense. So we go into Giza, Egypt. Legion Green, host species the Rogelians. For any of y'all who remember, the Rogelians were the race that followed Thor around as recorders for a little while.
Okay.
But now apparently they're soldiers. Their speciality is terraforming and technology. And how do we show this is their speciality? They are bombing the pyramids.
Okay, how is that, and then terraforming?
Don't ask me. Then we go to Italy. Legion Purple, host species Skrulls. Speciality, infiltration and espionage. And as everyone knows, the best way to show espionage and infiltration in a comic book, they're blowing up the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Oh yeah, because that's infiltrating. Infiltration used to mean you slipped in without anybody noticing, and you pretended to be part of that side.
It would have been better if you saw them in some type of parliamentary situation where their whole group is just now took over.
Yeah, something.
No, you don't understand. They're blowing stuff up because they're spies.
Yeah, they might be Pennsylvania spies from Bullwinkle?
I don't know. Look, again, after Lobo, this is a fucking Eisner winner right here.
Wait. Don't besmirch the name of Eisner.
I'm just
Oh
being
my
honest.
goodness.
Let's see, and they're in Tokyo, and it's the Mentelleronites, which is a new one on me. And apparently, they look like if Venom and a shark had a baby. Here,
Okay, so Venom was banging King Shark.
I guess.
or
And
Jeff the Land Shark.
there you go. And then they have for London, England, the Chithari, and it says their communication, their specialty is communication and coordination, and they're just walking down the street like some Wolverine wannabes.
Yeah,
And
because that communicates things so well.
And then we finally get to the center of the universe in Marvel, New York City, and the invading Venoms there are the Kree.
Whoa. The
Mhm.
Kree?
Yeah, Kree. They're venomized Krees now. And
which one, blue or pink?
This is Legion Blue, and their little spider, their little not spider symbol on their chest is blue.
Yeah, because the original Ms. Marvel was a pink Kree.
Yes. And they're gonna attack. They're attacking New York, and one evil Venom Kree is gonna kill an old lady with his blaster boom gun.
Yeah, because
and
old ladies are so dangerous.
It gets covered in webbing and explodes in his hand and kills him because, of course, an exploding gun is gonna kill a venomized Kree. Sure.
Okay.
And then you get to see, the hero is coming to save the day, and it's Spider-Man, Venom. I think his name is Toxin,
Right.
Flash Thompson, venomized character, the Black Cat, and then two throwaway characters that are probably going to die at the end of the series.
They put my cat in there.
This looks terrible.
No, they put Black Cat. It's not Greer Grant. That's Felicia Hardy.
Man, okay.
I love this looks terrible. Cat. Al Ewing is a great writer. This looks like shite. I'm avoiding this.
Okay.
And then the last one they have is the Infernal Hulk saga, because, like, I think I talked about it on here before. They can't just leave the Infernal Hulk in his own series. They have to make an event out of it. So now and here we have, again, we're in New York City, and the Infernal Hulk is taking over, and he's monologuing like all good villains do. And then we have a scene of, because the way it's going in the book, the Infernal Hulk series, is he's slowly taking over different areas of the world. He wiped out most of the U.S. Army and brought them all back to life as his monster army. He took over Atlantis. And bit by bit, he's doing this. And here we have his zombie commandos carrying a crucified Captain America. No, he is not becoming the Maestro. I wish. In the Infernal Hulk series, which was supposed to piggyback Immortal Hulk, there is a character known as the Eldest, who is, for lack of a better term, a Lovecraftian horror. He basically ripped Bruce Banner and the Hulk into two separate beings and took over the Hulk's body. So now you have Cosmic Horror Hulk.
Wonderful. Like,
now,
we didn't have enough problems in the world.
The only cool scene with the other Marvel characters who have become monsters, because we have to have an Avengers team, is they show let me see, this giant spider that's red and blue walking through the city, and obviously that's Peter Parker. But the only thing
Okay.
about it that makes it really cool is hanging underneath him, underneath this giant spider. We can see it. Apparently, this giant spider burst out of Peter Parker, and his dead body is still attached to it, hanging off of the spider.
Ew.
So that's the only cool thing with it. And then the last page, you get the Monster Avengers, and I'm sorry, this makes me less interested in it. I don't need this as an event. Just like Immortal Hulk worked so well as a standalone Hulk story, this could be just a Hulk story. Um, so as far as Free Comic Book Days, hype machine for getting me interested in the books Marvel has coming out, they failed. I don't care about any of these. Um, I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna look at Avengers Armageddon again, but so far they've struck out on getting me on board with any of what they've got coming up. And again, Scotty Young, you're a great creator, but fuck you. Just fuck you. Lobo is terrible.
I'm a bad influence on you because
No,
you
no,
when he started he was so sweet and polite and I've just made him a really bad
Well,
person. I'm
no,
sorry.
see what it is now you've gotten to know me, and I realize you're not kicking me off the show, so I can open up a little bit.
yep. So before we get off the air, let me do my little bit of stick here.
Do your stick, dude.
Yes, we are going back in the time machine because now I get to try to finish what I started here on Comic Book Bedroom a few months ago. Here
Beep, boop,
we're
bop.
going back to the Fire and Ice when hell freezes over series again. I did the first 2 issues on this series here, so now I've got issue number 3 and issue number 4 to try to talk about within a quick and just give you guys a quick synopsis here. Where we left off is that, if I remember correctly, after the whole Welcome to Smallville series, you have Tori and Beatrice, their whole beauty shop and everything burnt down to the ground again and everything. They kind of patch everything up. Pretty much the villains, the low grade villains that they were helping are still there in Smallville. They're still there up under the so-called watch of Superman because, again, they kind of treat them as the fuck ups of the Justice League, of the former Justice League or Justice League International, however you want to put it here.
Now,
So
Joe,
pretty much,
are their powers still switched in this series, or are they back to
yeah,
their normal?
that's what happened. Okay. I'm trying to get to the point where their powers get
Okay.
switched here. I'm trying to give everybody a recap of what has happened from issue number 1 of this series to now. So by the time everything goes, it's like everybody in Smallville, except doing all this other stuff. They rebuild their beauty shop and everything. They started the celebration and everything, and they're kind of like both of them are back on good terms. And then, they had Satana there. So, they were all partying. They would, had like this karaoke party and everything. And Satana took off her hat. And guess who happened to see that? Beatrice. Beatrice goes over to the hat. It's like, hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat
Oh
again.
no.
It was pulling stuff out of the hat. It was pulling random stuff until she pulls a monkey paw. And she's like,
No.
oh, I remember what's going on in this, that, and the other with
Monkey
these type of
paws are
things.
never good.
If I make a wish, this, that, and the other could bring things back to normal. Zatanna sees that she brings out the monkey paw from the hat, and she was like, you better not. Don't. We need to stop her now. We need to get over to her now. And people up there like, what? It's like, let beep, this, that, and the other. She was up here trying to get to Beatrice before she made the wish, and she made a wish.
Oh no.
And that wish ended up swapping Beatrice and Tora's powers. So now Beatrice controls the ice. Tora controls
Fire?
fire now. So that's the end of issue number 1. By the time we get to issue number 2, things get worse. They start to slowly become each other. I mean, physically, each other.
So they've not only swapped abilities, they have swapped.
Swap
They're
body.
swapping bodies.
Yes.
Hmm.
And the only way to switch back, because it was dealing with the monkey's paw, is that they have to go to the source. And guess where the source is at?
Africa?
No. I think the title says it all. When hell freezes over, so they have to go to hell.
They go to hell. Oh, great.
They literally go to hell. So issue number 3 starts out by them going to good old Gotham City. And guess who they went to look up? Our main guy, Jason Blood. And we know who Jason Blood kind of, well, I shouldn't say kind of controls, but we know who Jason Blood kind of embodies.
Okay.
So pretty much they go and talk to Jason Blood. It's like, hey, Jason, we need to get into hell. We need Etrigan.
Oh, no.
So they're up here trying to talk, try to tell, Jason Blood, why they need to go to this, that, and the other, and why they need, Etrigan to do X, Y, and Z, and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, look, you really don't want to do this, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, we have to do this. We have to do this together. We have to figure out what we need to do to switch back permanently to break the wish from the monkey's paw. So one thing leads to another. He agrees here to go and do that. They did some flashbacks to things that happened a couple of days, prior for they to do whatever they need to do. So pretty much, they convinced Jason. He opens up the portal to hell, and they end up going to hell. And as soon as they get there, poof, they're back in their original bodies.
Okay.
So now, if they're instantly back in their original bodies, what is really going on with this so-called wish here? And then, then they had like this strangeness that happens. Like they're back in their original bodies, that every so often this strangeness that would happen was like they switch, kind of like the wish is trying to force them to switch back.
Ah, okay.
And they constantly complain about Etrigan, talking about it in rhymes and everything, and they finally get attacked by all these different demons and everything. Nice little fight and everything to that magnitude here. And while they're in hell, the rest of the people who help manage the beauty shop, try to keep things pretty much going up in Smallville. However, while that was going on, the bar that's down the street here, you have Linka, who I didn't realize until this issue is the sister of somebody else that's important that's coming to visit.
Oh no!
You can't tell by that picture, but that's supposed to be Gorilla Grodd. So Gorilla Grodd comes to visit and everything. So all hell's about to get ready to break loose in Smallville, while Tori B is in hell, and they pretty much fighting, and then they get separated. So one thing leads to another. They got to get separated, and then like in one big push, you see one big blast from Tora, and then another big blast from Beatrice, and Etrigan just sitting over there just watching them fight. It's like eating some type of weird ass popcorn that had kind of like spiders and stuff up in it, and yada yada yada. And the glitch thing happens again, and Beatrice is like, "Look, could you please stop writing? It's not helping me think," type deal. And then when that happens, they see the beef eater. And the thing about it is, when Beatrice saw the beef eater, she was like, "Well, I have to get into issue number 4 at this." But that's when they see the beef eater, and that's where this issue ends, because they had a 1, 2.
Was that
3,
crypto in
4
that?
page? They had a 4. No, yeah, they had a 4-page. They had a 4-page spread for crypto.
I was about to say, is that crypto?
Yeah, they had a 4-page story of crypto up in here.
John loves crypto.
And then the rest of it was advertisement, which again, I'm not going to talk about that here. Which brings us to issue number 4, where the cover lied to us. You see the cover? It's a lie. It's a big lie.
Got it. Yeah.
I will explain. I'll explain why, because that's supposed to be Gorilla Grodd that they're fighting.
Okay,
but they did not fight Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla Grodd got into a fight, all right, because Gorilla Grodd comes to see his little sister, Everything is like, no, I gotta take you back. We have to try to do this, that, and yada, 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 yada. And Link is not having it. She's up here, it's like trying to do X, Y, and Z, and blah, 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 blah. And then lo and behold, out of nowhere, Man of Steel, Superman. Boo! Hiss. Boo! I don't care if you're in Smallville. Boo! It's supposed to be about fire and ice. We don't care about Superman. Why is Superman up in the middle of this story, not telling us what's really going on between Beatrice and Tora? This part of the story should not even be a part of the story.
Okay.
But eventually we get back to what's going on in hell and everything. So the Beef Eater's there. Beatrice is having a breakdown because again she feels guilty about how the Beef Eater died. She's blaming herself and this, that, and the other, and yada yada yada. And she's been beating herself up and all this other stuff, and, going from one thing to another. Etrica is still eating his popcorn because he pretty much figured out what was going on and everything. He just like, I just gotta watch this stuff play out and everything, and blah 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 blah. And here we go again. It's like, Beatrice and Tora being who they are, they eventually come to a resolution, this, that, and the other, and it's like Tori finally get Beatrice to come out of her guilt ridden, hey, I'm too much of a mess up and this, that, and the other. It's like, well, it's not really your fault. And then she realized, it's like, wait a second, you're not Tora. And it's like, what do you mean? It's like this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. And she figured out, it's like the person that's standing next to her is not Tora. That's not Ice. And then the secret's out. It wasn't Tora. So who's been there with Ice all this time? We don't know and everything. So she just disappears, and then she turns around to Etrick, and it's like, where's Tora? This, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. And then that's when the Beefeater turns around and says, no, you passed this trial. You know who, you truly know who you are. You know what you're about, and this, that, and the other. That was the whole point.
Ah, okay.
That was the whole point. So she now keeps talking to Etrigan, and Etrigan was like, Tora is where she needs to be. It won't go beyond that. Mm-hmm. But he kind of gives her kind of like a glimpse of what might be going on with what's going on with Tora as a whole. So now we go back to the whole Smallville type thing. Superman fights Gorilla God. We already know who wins. Gorilla God loses. He talks to his mom for a bit and all this other stuff. Yada yada yada. It's like everything is okay, and then he takes off, and they played a prank on him for advertising to vote for this one councilman. I don't think it's going to show up very well on camera, but that they put a button on the back of his cape, and he actually took off. Waste of pages, waste of story time, and everything to that magnitude. And then it shifts off to the upcoming casino that they're trying to build in Smallville and yada yada yada. Again, more filler story that doesn't make any sense here. But back in hell, we got Tora, who actually eventually found her mom. And her mom is being, still being captured and everything. And she's, feeling regrets because her mom has been in hell for all of this time and yada yada yada. And then we get the new villain in the group here talking about, okay, what this, that, and other, she got exactly what she deserved, this, that, and the other. And he keeps torturing her mom and everything, and say, okay, fine, let's make a deal here. It's like, really, you want to make a deal, this, that, and the other? It's like, okay, it has to be an exchange. It has to be an exchange of some equal sorts here. So it's like, okay, fine, I will take her place. And then the person was like, oh, really? I don't think that's going to happen. And it's like, well, fine, I would do anything. I want to take her place at this, that, and I was like, well, if you're going to do anything, then the only person that could take her place is Beatrice. He wants Beatrice to save her mom. And that's where this issue number 4 ends. So it leaves on a cliffhanger. Will Tora betray Beatrice to get her mom? And then we get all this other advertisement here. for Worlds Collide. You know, it's like a 3-page little thing to advertise a mobile game called DC Collide and get more well, actually, this is the memorial for Peter David. I forgot Peter David died. So
okay.
So we got that here, and we got more advertising. We got advertising for Rick and Morty. So that's where we leave off on issue number 4. So we got issue 5 and issue 6 to come out to talk about here in a later time here. And on that note, let's go ahead and end the show because we went 30 minutes over.
Okay, spoilers. The 5 and 6 got a new creative team. Tom King and Scotty Young are writing it just to say "fuck you, Joe."
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Right. Why do I see Star Wars and Burn with Terry Dotson covers? Yay. Overall, I haven't really I've been keeping myself from the urge of throwing the book because of the side stories that's going on. The side stories were not as interesting as Welcome to Smallville. The main stories have been good with between Tora and Beatrice, but a lot of the side stories now in their series. And again, I would rather see Fire and Ice in an ongoing series than all of these 6 issues stop, 6 issues stop, 6 issues stop. To me, that's cringy to me. I want ongoing series. DC, if you listen to me, we got something that's going good. Give them their ongoing series. It just makes it easier.
Yeah, you can replace Lobo with it.
Yes, exactly. So, without further ado, here we're going to do our normal thing and say our goodbyes, starting with Elaine.
Thanks for guys coming. Tom, wherever you are, hope you're driving safe. Thanks for showing up. Look forward to the next time you come. Of course, I'm Elaine. I'm here at YouTube. You can also find me at my website, lenscaponline.com, as I have more news about how we're going to be handling sales of the books and which books will be available where. I will update you. Sorry. In the meantime, thank you for showing up, whether you watch this here live, whether you watch us later. Either way is fine. We just love the fact that you stopped in and, get down with the sickness. So take care. Try, be safe out there. Have a good one, guys. See you later. Hold on. This thing doesn't want to shut off. Okay. Peace.
Okay. And there's Cliff.
Thank you for joining us. I promise I'm usually not this angry and full of profanity, but I was justified. Next time I'll be in a much better mood because I'm going to read better books. And if they're not better, I may take a trip to Burbank and have a talk with DC. Thank you for joining us. Come see us again. I'm still here in Olive Branch. I have a free copy of Lobo #1 for whoever gets here first with it. Have a good night. And fuck you, Scotty Young. Fuck you.
And that will bring us to the fact that we do have a sponsor. So if you need a brand new cover for your novel, graphic novel, or comic book, go ahead and hit up Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics. Why? Because you want an award-winning artist who have won several Pulp Factory awards for his covers for books, as well as for anthologies on your particular work of fiction. If you don't believe me, go ahead and take a gander at this video.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
So if you have that great novel that you just read, or that great graphic novel, or that great comic book, hit up Jeffrey Hayes at plasmafiregraphics.com, or hit him up on his Facebook group for Plasma Fire Graphics. As far as for me, I will be back here Saturday for From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. And for next week, like I said, we got a possibility of issue 5 and issue 6 to finish off this series here for me to truly get back into doing comic book reviews here, Fire and Ice here. And for those who were wondering how come I didn't answer Tom's question, it's pretty much simple as this. Pretty much those who know, it's like, yes, I am a comic book publisher. I do independent comics, but my specialty is as women-led titles here. So a lot of the stuff that he mentioned about Absolute Batman and Invincible stuff is just stuff that I find kind of stereotypical and common. Am I a big fan of it? No, not so much. It's like it will pique my interest to look at it for maybe 1 to 3 issues, and then after that I would just let it go unless it's unless it's about characters that I really like. And to be quite honest, Absolute Batman to me is like, what if Bruce Wayne was Peter Parker? It comes off that way to me here, and Invincible is just not something that really, caught my attention. Just like how The Boys really didn't catch my attention all that much, because I found this very stereotypical and common, unlike some of the other titles that I normally read. And if you pay attention to what books I talk about on From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, you kind of figured that, it's like, I like a lot of the older titles such as The Spirit and stuff to that magnitude, and a lot of the, characters from way back when. But in this modern era, I pretty much buy a lot more of the women-led comic book titles such as Fire and Ice, the Wonder Womans, the Gotham City Sirens, stuff like that. To me, is a little bit more interesting. So on that note, I will be back here Saturday for an episode of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. There's going to be things to talk about. We got the beanie books that I showed earlier here to do for new comic book pickups for the week, plus other stuff here. Plus, we got some updates for the collections here, new graphic cards for the updates. And for those who've been doubting about how many Wonder Womans I have, I actually broke down the 106 issues that I am missing here for you guys to see what issues are truly missing from Volume 1. So until then, live life, grow, and be well. And unlike our founder, Brian K. Morris, I don't care if you wash your hands, but never, and I do mean never, apologize for being awesome. Catch you next week right here on Comic Book Spectrum. And we're out.